So I think one of the main reasons that I started doing tantric work was that I realized that I have a side in me that's very masculine and very aggressive and very dominant. And from the outside, people could call me like a strong woman, but it was actually a lot of defense mechanisms that I developed throughout life, especially in childhood, because I didn't feel safe and I was scared so much of the time during my childhood, and I felt like there are no loving adults in my surroundings that can protect me and keep me safe, that I realized I have to protect myself. And the only way that I knew how to protect myself was by being a very mean bitch. And a mean bitch means a masculine woman, or a woman who says what she thinks, puts up boundaries, maybe belittles people sometimes out of anger, maybe is a little bit aggressive. You know, all these masculine traits that are wonderful when they're balanced. I had them out of my pain and my suffering and my fear. And it kind of created this like doorman who lived in my first chakra, which is very like masculine survival energy. And the doorman was supposed to protect the inner child, the girl, who lives in the second chakra of sexuality. And I've done so much work on this masculine side. I have been willing to see it, to understand it, to just contain it, to heal it, to love it, to forgive it. I've been doing a lot of work because I was this like straight woman in the world, attracted to men, but very angry at men. And I had this huge armor that was just walking around everywhere with me. And I was causing havoc and mayhem and chaos in the world because of this unbalanced masculine energy whose job was to protect me even when there wasn't anything to protect me from anymore. And I was ashamed of this side of me. You know, once I came into my feminine side and reconnected to my emotions, I was like, oh my God, why did I behave that way? Why did I do those things? Why was I like that? And I had to go through this whole journey of like forgiving myself and being compassionate to myself and see, oh, you know, you grew up with a woman who was very masculine with a huge armor. Maybe that's where you learned it from. You were really scared as a child all the time. Maybe that's why you needed it. So I started to bring compassion to this thing that I saw inside of me that was so ugly and disgusting and embarrassing that I really wanted to just bury myself alive and not live anymore, because I thought like, oh my God, I'm this terrible, disgusting, awful human being. So I had to learn to accept my masculine side, my like toxic masculine side that initially was there to protect me, but eventually started, you know, creating a lot of problems for me in my life. And I had to accept that side and be compassionate to that side. And once I did that, it was a lot easier for me to be compassionate to men and women that I met who I could identify, you know, that they were in their masculine energy, their toxic masculine energy. And then instead of like fighting with them, I could be more compassionate. And that's what I do in my healing sessions with men, is I help them see their toxic masculine side with compassion to the inner child, with understanding, with contemplation in meditation, you know, about where it came from, why it began. Can I forgive myself? Who did I learn it from? Is it my fault? It's never my fault as a child. It's never the child's fault. He's just a fucking child, for God's sake. But, you know, we take all this blame on ourselves. So anyway, that's why I got into Tantra, was to balance my masculine energy and my feminine energy, because my feminine energy was so suppressed because this toxic masculine energy inside of me kind of just took over. Like, at first it was just an armor to protect me from the outside world, but eventually it started to become part of my personality and who I was. So I had to rebalance myself energetically and, you know, rebalance the feminine and the masculine energy, because I am a woman and I am compassionate and I'm very sensitive, and I kind of want to be and live to my full potential emotionally as well as in all the other ways. So I want to be the woman that I know I can be and that I am from the inside, but I want to be her from the outside. So that's why, I mean, initially, that's one of the reasons I got to Tantra, and Tantra did help me with that. Tantra in terms of inner work, shadow work, you know, masculine, feminine energy. I think in sex, it was like I was always very dominant and aggressive in sex, and it was very difficult for me to actually surrender to a man and release and let go so that I could actually enjoy my feminine body. I was having sex like a man, and Tantra taught me how to make sex like a woman. And it's because I'm in a female body, it's just more fun. And I think that because I've been doing so much work around the specific topic, especially lately, I've had 2 incidents where 2 very angry women have complained about my masculine side and how it's not okay. I'll tell you about the second one. It's this woman that I don't really know that much. I may have met her years ago in a retreat, but I'm not really sure. And apparently she's my neighbor. And she texted me this awful, toxic, disgusting message on Facebook telling me, you know, what a bitch I am. I never clean up after my dog's poo. I don't pick it up. I'm disgusting. I disregard, as usual, other people's boundaries. And I just come with my dog and she just shits everywhere. And then I just go and I don't give a fuck. And I'm reading this message and I'm like, what the fuck is this? There hasn't been one time that I don't pick up my dog's poop. That's disgusting. Why would I not do that? She pees, and it might look like she's doing something. I'm not picking it up, but I can't pick up her pee. I'm like, okay, but, you know, you can take the dog to pee somewhere else. I mean, yeah, but wherever she pees, it's going to be disgusting, and I can't pick it up. That wasn't even the point. The point was this woman made up a whole story about me. She even like put like insinuations as to like where I grew up and that's why I'm like that. Like she invented this whole story about me, who I am, what I do, why I do what I do, why I'm not okay. And I have not done anything on the other side. Like none of the things that she said are actually true. And I saw that when I read the message, I felt guilty and scared. I'm like, oh my God, she's mad at me. Oh my God, maybe I did do what she said. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And then I just went into meditation and I'm like, I'm breathing. I feel guilt. I feel shame and I feel fear. And I felt that a lot with women because of my masculine toxic side, which this woman apparently has been confronted with. Women are angry at me and bitchy and just don't like me. And I think it's the weaker women who don't like me and I'm a threat to them and I'm just this thing they have to cancel and completely get rid of. And she probably thinks the same about men. So she's given me a mirror to who I am, to that side in me, because when I was in my masculine, like toxic masculine energy, I was very hateful towards men and people, and I would complain and yell and shout and talk shit about people all the time. So she's just giving me a mirror to who I used to be and has shown me like how people in their pain can just make up these whole stories and fantasies in their head that have nothing to do with reality and live in that story as if it's true and then make everyone around them believe that their story is true, or, you know, as well, although it has nothing to do with reality. And how, you know, men and me, how we can freak out when we're being blamed for doing something, although we haven't actually done anything. And it's this like self-guilt that we take on. I know a part of it was because, you know, maybe this time I didn't do anything, but in my past I was such a bitch. So she's probably right and I'm still a bitch and it's like terrible and awful. But I didn't do anything. And my whole life I didn't really do anything either. I was just a person in the world with pain. Like all of us, we're just trying to get along here and trying to survive. And sometimes we have to be more aggressive and dominant. And sometimes, you know, we can be more passive and emotional. But I'm not a bad person. Like, I didn't do anything bad to this person. She just created this whole story about me. And anyway, it gave me a good mirror for myself and for the inner work that I'm doing. And I think a lot of men during the past, like 5 or 10 years, have been confronted with this toxic masculinity that exists in women. And they've been blamed for things that they haven't done. They've been talked shit about. And women have taken, you know, situations and completely turned them around to a whole different story just to blame someone for something that he didn't do. And that's kind of the world we live in. It's like victim mentality. If you're the victim, you're right. First of all, you're right, I'm with you. Tell me what he did to you, that awful, terrible man. Like, why is she right? Because she says she's a victim. Maybe she's the one who created this whole situation so that you can come to her and tell her that she's right. It's probably her lack of self-confidence. I'm not blaming her, but like, why is the weak person always right and the strong person always wrong? I don't think that's right. And I don't feel that way. And I'm not a weak person. I'm a strong person. And strong people will attract toxic, weak people who are going to try and bring them down. But we just have to see it for what it is. Keep our hearts open. See it with compassion. Not succumb to the whole like dynamic of you did this, you did that. Just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm sorry that you feel this way. You probably are in a lot of pain if you feel the need to blame me for something that I have not done. And I know that when I did that to other people, I was in a lot of pain, which is why I'm compassionate to other people today, mainly to myself, because that's the most important thing, is not to hate ourselves and blame ourselves for everything that's wrong in the world. So, you know, usually when people talk about toxic masculinity, it's in men, and toxic femininity, it's in women. I believe that both men and women have female and masculine energy. It's an energy thing. It's not a gender thing or a sexual thing. It's an energy thing. And just like a woman can have feminine toxicity, she can also have very, very toxic masculine energy and, you know, pretend to be this poor little victim, little girl in distress, the woman in distress, oh, poor me. But it's just a very aggressive and dominant masculine energy hiding behind a little girl and getting all this attention and compassion for basically being a bitch. So maybe we should start paying more attention to the toxic masculine energy that women are carrying these days, not because it's bad, but because it's unbalanced. And we need to balance ourselves so that we can become one, instead of have so many different sides of our personality trying to dominate our lives all the time. And we want to bring unity, inner unity, into our lives, into our body, into our minds, into our emotion, into our energy. So that could be a blind spot for a lot of women, the masculine, the toxic masculine energy that they have. And it can be a blind spot for a lot of men who are not aware of it and fall into these traps all the time. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'm talking only from my own experience. I've been practicing and teaching tantric meditation and inner work for the last 10 years and been going through the journey and the process of healing myself. So I'm just sharing things that I feel and see and are going through. And if it relates to you, then that's great. If it pissed you off, tell me in the comments why it pissed you off. If you didn't like it, tell me why. I mean, just if you have anything, I would love to hear from you in the comments. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you like the video, because I will be uploading more videos like this in the future. And thank you for listening. And I hope this video helped a little bit and brought a bit of light onto a subject that, in my opinion, is in the dark still. And we need to start talking about it, because human beings are amazing, and, you know, why not have an amazing time together on this beautiful planet Earth? So that's what I think. And yeah, I'll see you soon.